All right. Hi, people. I'm sick, but we're still doing notes. So I'm going to try my best. Okay. Bear with me. All right. So we are on 2.5, completing the square, part 2. Okay. So last time we talked, we were using our algebra tiles to build problems. We're doing the same thing today, just without the tiles. Okay. And without not knowing what C is or what our last value is. Okay. So when we were looking at this on Tuesday, we were working to try and find what our missing piece was. We're still kind of doing that, only this time we're going to have a value for C. We're still going to try and make it into a perfect square, but we're going to be looking for how many pieces are missing from our model. Okay, it's kind of like the last question I gave you at the end of the period on Tuesday. So let's take a look at the example and you'll kind of see what I mean. So first example says write the following equation in HK form. I'm going to say and solve. So we're doing two things here. All right, first part. I'm looking at my standard form equation. We have x squared plus 8x plus 5, and they're asking us to write it in HK form. So easiest way to do that is by using our model or our algebra tiles. Okay, so we know that a big square is going to be x squared, right? So we need one of those. And then I need 8 x's. So the way we set that up was using half of those on one side, and then the other half on the other side, or like so. So we had 8 all together. Those were each x's. And then what we were doing on Tuesday was trying to see how many would fit in here. But what we're going to do instead is put in whatever our amount is that they give us. Okay, so they said plus 5. So that's what I'm going to fill in here. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those little squares. Now what I'm looking for is still those missing pieces, only this time it's not going to be a perfect square number. Okay, so let's count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 missing pieces here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rewrite my problem with those missing pieces. Okay, so when we rewrite these, again, it needed to be in HK form. Keep in mind that HK form was going to be our A, which we don't really have because it's a 1, right? X, something inside squared, plus our missing pieces. Okay, that's where our missing pieces are going to go. We're going to be right here where our K should be. All right. So other thing that I'm going to need here is going to be my X values. Now, when we go to write this, you're actually just going to use however many X's used across the top slash on the side, which should be half of your B. For us, that was 4. So I'm going to say plus 4 in that part. All right. I know that's a little bit funky. I know I said that really weird. I'm also sick. Give me a break, okay? Things that you need to know. Half of B goes inside of your parentheses. Missing pieces go outside of the parentheses. And we're just going to set that equal to 0 because this guy's equal to 0, okay? That's the basics, all right? Now I have my equation in HK form. The second part of this was to solve. Now, when we went to solve these for 2.5, the first part of it, what we did was just drew our line through that equal sign. And then we started canceling things out until we got our quantity squared by itself. Our quantity squared is right here. We just need to get rid of this 11. So to do that, it's minus 11. I'm going to do plus 11 to both sides. When that happens, my 11s are going to cancel out. I'm left with x plus 4 squared equals 11. After that, we could take care of our squared by using the square root. And that's basically just going to get rid of that 2 right there. And it's going to leave me with x plus 4. And then 11 is prime. It's not going to have anything that we could take out, or it's not going to simplify to a single number. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to do plus or minus the square root of 11. And then last step, I want to get that x by itself. So I'm going to minus 4 from both sides. Again, this is kind of a review from what we did earlier this week. And this would be my answer. Okay. Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 11. Okay, I know that's a little bit funky. Again, we were talking about this earlier this week, how it's kind of ugly sometimes. And we got to be okay with that. Basically, this is the same thing that we were doing in 2.5 part 2, but we're adding on this rewriting step up here, okay? And we're using our algebra tiles to rewrite this equation, okay? So let's try another. Let's do the one that's on the back side of this page. Obviously, this is a video, so if you need to, like, pause it or something, do that. Because I'm just going to keep going. All right. I got x squared minus 6x minus 11. Okay, so again, you want to try and model that here. I know that I could use a big block for my x squared. I have 6 x's that I need. So I'm going to do 3 on each side. And then it says minus 11. Okay, so here's where it gets just a little weird, okay? We have a negative 11 here. Think about those as like extra missing pieces, okay? I cannot put in a negative number into my boxes here, okay? Like I said, we're going to try and count those as extra missing pieces. Unlike this problem, where we just had a positive 5, so I could just easily put those in here and count what was missing. We're counting the 11 as extra missing pieces. So I'm going to say that we have minus 11, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 missing pieces over here. So also missing 9. 11 or negative 11 minus 9 is going to give me negative 20 missing pieces altogether. So I'm going to say negative 20 missing pieces. Because I'm counting everything from here is missing, plus these 11 as well. Okay, so it's just a little funky. I'm actually going to underline that just so that we know. If negative, count as missing. Pardon me while I move things around. There we go. Okay. So got that down. All right. So let's rewrite. Like I said, when we go to rewrite this in our HK form, you want to put half of B in this spot here. Half of B, I had negative 6. That's going to be negative 3. Don't forget the negatives. And then we said missing pieces, we're going to go on the outside. So for us, that was 20 missing pieces. So I'm going to say minus 20 equals 0, because that's what it says right here. And then last step that we added on was solving. Okay, keeping in mind when we're solving, your first goal is to get that quantity squared by itself. So I'm going to try and get rid of this 20 first. It's negative, so I'm going to say plus 20 to both sides. When that happens, my 20s are going to cancel. I'm left with x minus 3 squared equals 20. Okay, I got my squared bit all by itself, so I can get rid of that squared by using a square root. We are left with x minus 3 equals, let's see what we could take out of that one. I'm not sure. I got 20. I know 20 could break down to 2 and 10. I know 10 can break down to 2 and 5. Okay, so we can take something out of this. Looks like we could take our 2 2s here out. And my 5 is going to be left inside. So actually, let me scooch this down just a little bit. Give myself some space. We're taking out a 2, leaving in a 5. And I forgot my plus or minus sign. Then again, I still want to get this x by itself. So instead of minus 3, I'm going to do plus 3 to cancel it. I'm going to be left with x equals 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 5. Again, I know this is funky. I fully understand that. When I come back, we'll be able to talk about it a little bit more. But things I need you to keep in mind are that when we rewrite, we have half of b going on the inside of these parentheses. Missing pieces are going on the outside. If you have a negative number on the end of your problems, you're counting those as extra negative pieces or extra missing pieces. Okay? If you have a positive number like we did up here, you are just plugging those into your model per the usual and just counting all of the individual squares that are missing. All right, so try your best with this practice worksheet. You can get it from the substitute. Again, if you have questions, just take a picture of the problem with your question, and I will try my best to answer it as soon as I can through email. But I think that's about all I got for y'all today. Okay? Get this down in your notes. Try the practice. I am not going to be there on Friday, so try your best. That's all I want. All right. You the best. Bye.